Welcome back, beautiful agency people, online moneymakers, and appointment setting bosses. So, super quick one. In this video, we're going to run through, I'm going to teach you how to actually pay your call center team, your appointment setting team, lead gen team, whatever you also want to call them, and motivate them to get good results. And hint, it is not paying some Filipino $2 an hour or someone from bumfuck nowhere. So, bit of background, just so you know why it's worth listening to me. Run through business for the last decade and things. At the minute, we're running a 100K a month agency in the med spa niche, and we're currently running a 15-person call center team and getting pretty good results on the back of it. So, I'm going to run you through 5 things. First thing being offshore hiring versus overseas hiring. So if you're hiring in the US versus hiring some sort of third world country, with the UK versus a third world country, again on that side of it. How to actually give people a solid base pay to incentivize them, but how to combine that then with commission to get the best results, how to build a winning culture. So obviously it's not all just about pay, it's going to be about culture. And then also how to motivate your team internally away from money. And if you stick around for all 4 of those, I'll combine it all up and I'll give a bonus one at the end, how to actually use something that's going to give you a boost on that side of it. So let's switch over to your iPad, we'll have a look at it, we'll go through, we'll break it down, and we'll sort of see the best options on there. So first thing, straight off the gate. So what we're going to have a look at immediately, I mentioned a second ago, is going through, looking at offshore hiring versus overseas hiring, right? So you've got a couple of options on that side of it. So if we look at offshore hiring, so benefits of your offshore hiring versus your onshore hiring. So obviously, straight off the bat, first thing is, doesn't have to be a genius on this side. Offshore is a lot cheaper versus onshore is a lot more expensive. So 2 schools of thought with this. If you're going down the onshore route, so if you're in the US, you're hiring US callers, one, you're going to have a lot easier time when it comes to verifying and looking at people in terms of how they do. So they're going to connect with your prospects a lot quicker, and generally their English will be a little bit better, even if it's an English first country, if they come from third world. And as well, you're normally going to have immediate performance is normally a little bit of a boost. So, but that comes at a premium opposed to offshore, a little bit cheaper and things. Like I said, sometimes language barriers can be an issue, so you have to be very sort of, choosy on who you go for. And sometimes we find this a lot when you go offshore, you've got to make sure you're hiring the right type of people in a lot of countries and things. The education level and things aren't where they would be if you did hire onshore. So there are pros and cons to both of them. So we started off onshore. So originally we built to a 5 call center team, solely onshore, so UK based. There's some good benefits to it. Like I said, we got quite lucky with our first few hires. They took to it quite well. They were sales based. Thing is, obviously they paid at a much more of a premium. After that point, we started to scale out, and now we're probably a 50-50 mix. We've got some of our people are based abroad, so we hire a lot from South Africa. We've got some based in Spain, so UK people now living in Spain, and we've got some UK ones left. I preferred the mixed approach. So the reason I prefer the mixed approach is you'll find normally that certain callers resonate with certain areas. So if you're all offshore, all onshore, if you get a client, say, a little bit more conservative area, you're going to struggle with offshore callers versus onshore callers, right? So that's one thing to bear in mind as you look at it. So that's one thing. Now, there's one big pro going offshore versus onshore that we found. The only reason we've kept our onshore callers, like I said, is 1, so that if we have an area where people don't want to be sold by an offshore person, they can do that. And 2, it sets a baseline for us. There's certain nuances and things you get with an onshore caller who will understand the culture a lot more, where an offshore caller wouldn't. So we use them for training. So the onshore ones can train the offshore ones and they can verify them. But low and hold, like I said, 50-50, but probably skewing 70% is based overseas. If I'm honest with you, like I said, it's even UK people now based overseas. Now, the big thing is when it comes to pay, it's not as crazy as people think. That the mistake a lot of people make is they go offshore and they try to hire somebody from the Philippines for literally like $2 an hour. Versus if you're looking at somewhere in the UK or in the US, you might be paying something closer to, $10 an hour, for argument's sake. I don't know what the cost of sort of salaries are in the US and things, but that's about £12 or so about in the UK on that side of it. Now, the thing is, a lot of times the minimum wage in a country, so in the UK, for example, the minimum wage right now is around £2,000, right? So if we want to hire somebody in the UK, we're paying them £2,000 regardless. That's what they're getting paid. So, and that is minimum wage. So that's like very minimum wage when they're starting. So they can get that wage anywhere. So it's not that lucrative of an offer. So if they go to, work in a supermarket, if they're a valet, a taxi driver, something like that, they're going to be able to earn that same £2,000 as a minimum standard of living. Whereas if we look in offshore, so if we hire from South Africa and a lot of people hire from Colombia, sort of all around and things. So South America is really good if you're in the US. If we sort of say, right, our cost here are £2,000. The mistake people make is I go for $2 and I say, I want to pay somebody $400 a month, right? So I want to pay somebody $400 a month. It's super greedy, right? So if you're going from £2,000 to $400, you're being greedy. You're saving over 100% your cost on it. A much better thing to do is you're basically, on this side of it, paying minimum wage for offshore agents. What you should do is, if the minimum wage here is £2,000 or $2,000 a month, slash it in half, say $1,000 a month, right? So you're paying half the rate and now put your job post up, the base salary as $1,000 a month offshore. The reason being, what you're going to have on that side of it, now rather than you being at the sort of minimum wage, no competition in the US, you're going to be hiring offshore in, say, Colombia, Medellin, wherever it might be, at $1,000, which is a good chunk of wage on that. So you'll actually get premium offshore callers. The issue is, like I said, if you end up paying $400, your service is going to go through the floor, right? So big thing on that side. If you're going to hire offshore, I recommend it. I find that people are a lot hungrier on that side of it. It gives you more profit margin, gives you more wiggle room, and you can put a lot more money into the bonuses and the commission structures and upsells that people can actually earn themselves on that end. And that's where you really motivate people. When you're sort of already paying close to your maximum, you can only give a few pounds here, a few dollars here in terms of bonuses. Whereas if you're slashing your staff cost in half to $1,000 versus $2,000 a month, that extra $1,000, even if you allocate 500 of that for commissions or for bonuses, it's going to give you a much bigger boost. So in summary, offshore versus onshore. So I've done both, done them all. I would recommend 1 or 2 people being onshore, and they're like your either your team leads or they're your trainers. They don't have to be team leads necessarily, but they're going to have that front person. I know the culture, so they're sort of going to be there to oversee things with calls and help coach, but they're still on the phones. Now, the rest of my team, I would have offshore. And what I would do is I would look at it, like I said, $1,000 goes a lot further in somewhere like Colombia than it would in the US. Do not go super cheap. If you go super cheap, you're wasting your time, and you might as well sort of just pack it in because you're going to get someone who doesn't have any ability on that side. So when it comes to wages, that's what you sort of want to do. Other side of it is when you're finding the right people to hire as part of the onshore versus offshore. Now, like I said earlier on in the video, normally education levels vary from country to country. Somewhere like South America is going to have a much lower education baseline than somewhere like the US. Surprisingly, it might seem, you might make a lot of stupid people out there. Said it's not, it's just the baseline of people's countries. So they might go to school till 14, till 12, 15, 16, whatever it might be. They aren't going to have it. So if you're going to hire offshore and you have the luxury to do it, like I said, if you're hiring $1,000, gives you a bit of leeway. Hire people who have, a college degree. They hire them. They've got a college degree. If they've been employed for a long time somewhere, so long-term employment is obviously another big one, and things really helps out, or anything that makes you think, hey, this person has their head screwed on and they're not going to be an idiot. If they don't have a college degree, if they don't have it, don't hire them. Unless you're super, super, super impressed and they actually ace it on the call itself, you're going to be surprised. I said, we've tried it, again, all kinds of ways. College degree is the way to go on that side. So $1,000 college degree, that's really where you want to sort of sit on it when it comes down to it. So that's sort of my basis on offshore versus onshore, having a look at it. Now, next thing, I said, we've got our base salary, right? So we set up, we're going to, like I said, whether you're hiring US, whether you're hiring offshore, I'm going to focus on offshore for now, but all these same principles do apply to onshore agents. You just have to adjust variables on that side of it, right? So next thing is your commission structure, right? So your comm structure. Super important to get incentive on there. Now, you've got to work out what you want your minimum acceptable results to be per month. So for example, us internally, we're looking for a minimum of 36. So we want 36 bookings per agent per month. And then ideally, we want everyone to get to 60 bookings per month. That's really where we want everyone to go. So between 1 to 3 per day, on average, per working day, right? So we need to find a way to bridge the gap, to incentivize them to go from 36 to 60, right? Obviously get themselves to 36 and improve onwards. So what we do, because 36 is our minimum acceptable guarantee, like we want from somebody, our commission structure does not kick in until we hit 36 bookings. Once they hit 36 bookings, that's where our commission structure comes in, and we use a tiered commission structure on that side. So we have 3 tiers. So we have 1, 2, 3. 3 tiers, and it goes up. And each tier you hit, your commission increases. So our first tier for commission is $5. Our second tier is $7.50, and then our final tier is $10 per booking, right? So the way it works is, when you hit 36 bookings internally as a team member, you're getting $5 per booking. And that's all of the original bookings from 0 to 36 on that side of it. That's how it works. Like I said, so what you have then is people will push to get themselves at 36, because if they're at 20, they're getting 0. If they're at 30, they're getting 0. But then if I push for an extra 6, I now get, whatever the math works out, so $180 on that side just for getting an extra 6. So really, really important. You have a milestone, it kicks in your minimum acceptable threshold, and then your commission is backtracked through all of your bookings. So that's the first thing. The second thing then obviously is tier 2, which is $7.50. Now, again, we want to make sure they get from 36 to 60 to give them a push to get there when they need it. Now, $7.50, it's easy to hit for them. We set our $7.50 at, so I said the original is 36, our $7.51 is at 46 bookings. So to get an extra 10 bookings, which isn't hard, it's a couple of days, 3 or 4 per day, and it's 2 days later and you've sort of got 5, and then you've got 10, right? So for 10 extra bookings, which on paper, I said, it's worth $5. So if they get 9 bookings, it's worth $5. It gets them some cash sort of through the door, right? Not too bad. 9 of them, $5, $45, not too bad. Sorry, so it's not $36. Now, as soon as they hit 46, again, we backdate all of the commissions, including the original 36 and the new 46, to now be worth $7.50. So by pushing $10, they're basically increasing their overall earnings by a massive, massive factor. They're not doubling it, obviously, to $10, but it's like a half, 50% increase on their overall earnings, just a little bit more of a push, right? So give them that tier to always keep hungry. Otherwise, what happens is people will push to their minimum tier. They'll push to 36, they'll get it, and they'll think, okay, right, I've hit my commission. I don't really have much of a reason to push on anymore, right? So you want that second tier, so it actually gives them a chance to push and get forwards. Then our final one we do is $10, which you can probably guess is at our 60 commission threshold, right? So that's an extra 14 on that side of it. So you can see the difference on it. So from going from 46 to 60, again, they have another, like I said, bump in how much it's worth, right? So they go from $5 to $7.50 to $10. So basically, depending on what they hit, if they're at $36, 36 bookings, they're getting $5 a piece, right? Which isn't crazy. Like I said, it's not crazy on the side. It's just so that they know they've hit something. So it's $180 they get on that side, $180. So the original 30 or so bookings are worth $180 on that side of it. By the time they get to 60, if they hit 60, it's now worth $600 commission. So it's a massive, massive, massive factor when we come into it and when we have a look at it. So what it does for you is it gives us an option where, I said, you've gone from, nearly, well, actually just over sort of, it's a 3 times increase. You've gone from nearly $200 to $600. So for sort of double the work, you're getting triple the money back out of it and a little bit more on top. So that is how you want to structure your comms on that side of it. And that can be applied to anything. Figure out what you want to give them as comms. That can be based on shows. That can be based on bookings. We base ours personally on bookings because I want them to have a quicker turnaround time. Only problem that sometimes people make mistakes to get the booking, but if it does, you just have to take them off, right? So that is hands down, like we found, when it comes down to comm structure, that is the best sort of side of it. Gets them through, I said, give them a tiered comm structure. That's number one. Next thing, so go through, I said, now when it comes to the actual team itself, is you want to build a culture, right? So I mentioned earlier on that side of it, we want to build a winner's culture, right? So ideally, on that end, we're going to have people who want to win, want to succeed, want to actually book, right? Now, we need to let them know when somebody gets a booking to build up some friendly competition and build up a little bit of urgency. So what I would do straight away is, if you've got Slack, if you're using Discord, whatever it might be, if you're a 12-year-old gamer, you're using Discord. If not, you're a real business person using Slack. Obviously, I'm joking. But so if we're using Slack, immediately create yourself a wins channel, right? So wins channel straight away on that side. Now, what you'll do is every time somebody has a booking, have them fill out some sort of form or something, right? So say a Google form. Or you can link it direct to Go High Level. Obviously, there's an automation when an appointment's marked as won or booked, have an automation that sends out to Slack to say, hey, they've done a win. Now, here's the thing. Don't just make it generic. Don't have it say, oh, Amy booked, right? It's shit. No one cares about that. Have it go through and have them add a little bit of personality so they feel connected in there. So have it say on the winning channel, hook up with Make. So send a webhook to Make from GHL. And then when a booking's done, have it sent through to a winning channel and say, congrats, whatever you want to have on there. Congrats, Amy. Well, I've just absolutely butchered that. Congrats, Amy. Have her pick an emoji. What's her emoji? I don't know. She might want fucking the star. She might want fucking the eggplant, right? Whatever she wants. Congrats, Amy. And then put a picture of her on there. So a picture of her, like, it could be something funny. It could be a spoof one. It could be, a picture of her with your company in the background. But something on there that is her on that end. So when that comes through, everyone knows, says, congrats, Amy, you've booked for, and then the client name, right? And then the client, yeah? And then put the recognition, have it come through. As soon as that comes through, you now need to build a culture where people respond to that and people thrive off of that. So you'll have to lead this yourself. If you haven't got a call center manager, go in yourself, or sales team manager, whatever you want to sort of do, and go in and just respond to it. Click a bunch of emojis, respond, whatever you want to do, get it through and get it done as it comes through to it, right? Now, the more you do that, the more the team will start to do that, the more kudos will give them, the more shout outs will give them the things as well. Really, really important. So I said that sets your first precedent. There is you're ringing the bell. It's like an old office saying, you go in, you get a sale, you ring the bell, you gong the bell, whatever you want to do. We're just recreating that in a digital space on that side. So really, really important. You have, like I said, win, and they have something that's personalized to them. So like I said, a picture of them, it says their name, who they booked for. Let them pick their picture. Let them pick their emoji. Let them customize their picture. Give them options. Do you want your picture to have a background that's in, in Paris? Do you want it to be in Dubai? Like whatever. Do you want it to be in New York? Let them customize some aspects. They feel attached to it. Add a banner across it. Make it sexy. Make it worthwhile, right? So that's the first thing for your winner's culture. First thing you want to have on that side of it. Second thing, as it comes through, as I said, we're building individual rapport now. Now the issue is, what happens when we, as a team, somebody isn't booking, right? So when you're at this, it's all based on one person, yeah? So if you're having a shit day, you're not booking today, you're demotivated, what's the fucking point, right? So it doesn't work. So what you need is, on that side of it, first of all, is wait for it, a goal, a target, a daily target. And that is all it is. So you need to sit down and have a daily target for what you want. So easiest way to figure this out, I'm going to tell you straight off the rip, is whatever your minimum target is. So say your minimum goal is, like I said, I don't know if any spellings are correct, just ignore them, you get the picture. So your minimum target is, let's say it is 2, right? Minimum target is 2. And let's say you have a sales team of 5 people. Call center team, sales team, whatever you want to call it, you have 5 people. Watch this maths. 5 times 2 equals 10. That's your target for the day, right? That's what you want it to be. Over time, you can increase it. So I said, but the thing is, the reason you don't want to increase it too high to start with is if you go straight away, say, my minimum target is 2, but my ideal target is 5. I'm going to do 5 times 5, right? I do 5 times 5, it's 25 on the end of it. The issue is, you've never hit 25, ever. I know you haven't, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video, right? You've never hit 25. So now all of a sudden, every single day, your team is a failure because they're never going to hit that 25 and there's no motivation. You need to give them a target goal, which is stretchable that they can reach to. Set it down. So I said, your minimum target is 2. You do 5 times 2 is 10. If you hit 10 today, if you hit 10 tomorrow, then increase it, then change it to 2.5 and say, right, so I'm doing 5 times 2.5. If you hit that, do 5 times 3. And you never really want to go back. You have to judge it. If your team is having a slow week, don't keep raising your targets. You're just going to push them into the ground. Sometimes they need a few easy wins to keep them motivated and give them something to win for. So first thing, team target. Now, what do you do with the team target? Where do we put it? Do we just fucking tell them at the beginning of the day? No, we don't. We need to remind them of their target every single day. So every single booking, sorry. So every time this comes in, like I said, you've got your congrats Amy goes on there. So congrats Amy, whatever it is. Amy, with her picture of her dressed up out on the fucking beach, whatever she's doing. What you then need to do is, after that's done, you need to go in and you need to post the team target update. So you post it on there and then that goes in and it adds, so you let everyone give her kudos. Don't post them at the same time. Let everyone give Amy her kudos, give her a thumbs up, good shit, everything you want to do on there. Once that died down a bit, 5 minutes later, after a few people reply, so she gets her dopamine hit, she gets her recognition, then you go on and then you post the team target on then how close you are. So if your team target is 10 and we're at 2, you post it on there and it's done. You post this on and you rally behind it. So you post it on, say, great, 8 to go, wicked, or whatever it is, 7 to go, and give them a countdown. Start to add in a little bit of culture on that side of it. So I said, if you've got 3 bookings that come through, so say you've got 3 out of 10, off to a great start, 3 out of 10, 3 little birds, who's got the rest? Something like that. When you 9 out of 10, it's like 1 to go. 1 is the loneliest number. Add a bit of humor, add a bit of life into it. Right? But that's how you build a winner's culture between the two of them. I said you build a winner's culture by motivating, encouraging people, and having them communicate together. Nobody wants a sore loser. This builds a team winning culture and friendly competition. Right? So that covers that end. Now we've got a lot in team. And I said obviously ignoring individualism, but as salespeople, they do have individual wants, and they're normally quite competitive. And we want to foster that in a healthy way to have a look at it. Easiest way to do that, super straightforward. With this one, it is leaderboards, right? So leaderboards, super straightforward. There's not too much involved with it. You haven't got to get crazy with it. Now, with leaderboards, all you're going to do is you're going to have a look and you're going to create a leaderboard on Google Sheets, right? And on that leaderboard, you're going to do 2 things. So you're going to split your setters into 2 teams. Once you're past the size of 6. Once you have 6 setters or 6 appointment setters or sales agents, whatever you want to call them, you're splitting into 2 teams. Now, the reason that we do that is because if you are having a quiet day, if you are in position 6, you had a quiet week, you had a bad week, you're fucking ill and now you're left behind, and you're in position number 6 on the leaderboard, right? Number 6. There's no motivation for you to try to get up the ranks because to go from position 6 to position 1 is super, super hard, right? However, to go from position 3 in your team, which might actually be a thing. So say if we want here, we've only got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. To go from position 3 to position 1 internally in your team might be achievable. At least to get to position 2 on that side, right? So that's why we split the teams. That's the first reason, give them a chance to push. Second reason that we're splitting teams and things is team morale. Again, if someone's having a quiet day, I said we're not trying to keep low performers, but what we want to do is we don't want to demotivate and demoralize people. So it gives them a chance. Even if I don't get a booking today, but position number 1, Amy, she's killing it. I'm hyped up because that means our fucking team is winning, right? And that's all we fucking want. Team winners and a winning culture around. But obviously the leaderboard gives them a little ego boost because people will check it. They want to see where they are. I want to get to the top. So really, really important on that side. Have it somewhere clean, front and center. What I would do is if you have all your resources and your docs in a certain page, so we have ours on Notion, we put it in the top of the leaderboard on that side of it. And then each morning, review the leaderboard as a team. Who's in position 1? Who's in position 2? Who had a big day yesterday? Who moved from position 3 to 2 to 1 on that side? So put your leaderboards in there. And that should be a daily leaderboard and a monthly leaderboard, right? So you want your daily score and then you want your monthly score, daily and monthly. Reason being is, like I said, it gives 2 motivators. You can win today, even if you're not winning this month. But if you are winning this month, you want to maintain your lead so that you're obviously winning and you're going through there on that side, right? And the last thing I do with your leaderboard is I always just give team summaries. So I put in at the bottom 60 bookings, 50 bookings. So whatever that team is actually made up from here, summarize them at the bottom. Again, like I said, so now you're not competing just individually. You're also competing 2 teams against each other. And you can obviously tie bonuses and things to it on that side. So leaderboards, really, really, really powerful. But there's only really much of a point I said doing 2 teams once you actually get into 6+ setter basis. Works really well. Leaderboards, 2 teams, you call them pods, squads, whatever. You can call them anything you want, 2 little pots. I would just let them pick their team name as well. So I'd rotate teams every 3 months, tie a bonus to them. Whatever team wins 3 months in a row, they get a bonus maybe, for example. You can do that. But most importantly, I said, it's not even the monetary value of it. It's just having that chance for people on that side of it to actually win and to get through and to have something to motivate them. So I said, let them pick a name. So they might be, I don't know, Team Alpha, Team Charlie, for argument's sake. But let them pick, do a team vote. Hey, you guys pick, set up their own Slack channel, build a team, build a leaderboard, and incentivize it as well with those leaderboards if you hit certain targets on the leaderboard. So if you hit, I said, if you hit 10 this month, right? 10 isn't the target, right? Our minimum target is 36. But if we hit 10 this month, let's give them a shout out on the wins channel. Yeah, great, Amy, hit 10, right? Even if there's no monetary value, but it's just a shout out incentive, and start to build a culture around that. Pick an emoji for it. So 10 might be, I don't know, might be a bowling ball, right? For a 10-pin bowling. So say Amy hits 10, you're going to say, nice work, Amy, you've hit 10 and fucking 4 bowling ball emojis, and it's great. And then people make little jokes. They might put a GIF, they might put a video, they might say, yeah, bowling to win, or strike. Whatever. So Amy hit 10, strike, right? That could be what your culture is as a team because it's related to 10. So these are your bases you want to look at. Now, I did promise, obviously, at the end, a bonus, a cheeky little bonus for you, which we're going to have a look at now. Now, with the bonus, super straightforward. It's going to be a monetary bonus. I know, we're going to give money away, but you have to sometimes. So this is something we've just recently introduced, and it works really, really well for us on that side. So let's say, obviously, we use our minimum acceptable target, us as a team, we spoke about in this video, was 2. So 2 is our minimum acceptable, right? That's our minimum. A really good one for us is going to be, say, 5. 5 for us means you're fucking sick, you're killing it, right? So it is 5. Now, 5 bookings is absolutely fucking golden. That's exactly what we want. Now, we need to let people know if they hit 5, it is something that's good and it's something that is impressive, right? So it's going to be different for you. We're using 5, for example. You can pick whatever you want. It's entirely your choice. Now, we need to tie some sort of feeling, culture, sentiment to 5 as a number. So let's just say 5, I don't know what we're going to call it. We call it the Sunshine 5, right? Or something like that. Or whatever we want to do. We want something where they have pride and things on that side. So it could be a killer, right? So we could call it the killer. So if somebody gets 5, we start internally saying, what a killer, that's 5 done. We might call it the big dog. So we could say, right, you've hit 5, big dog hit 5, It could be gangster, whatever it could be, right? It could be gangster, say gangster hit 5, right? There's a point of this, bear with me, it's very powerful. So something, you need a name and you need a goal. 5 and a goal. Now, what you're going to say is you're going to give a bonus to the first person who hits 5 that day, a cash bonus. Whoever hits 5 today gets a cash bonus. And you're actually going to do it for whoever the first 2 are. So position number 1, whoever becomes, I don't know, top G, right? Top gangster, top G. There we go. Let's fucking call it top G. Whoever becomes top G today, so whoever hits 5 first, gets a $20 bonus in cash to them immediately. Send it to them at the end of the day. You got $20 in the bag, sort it out. People love quick cash. It's perfect. Gives them a motivator, right? You want to say if you're the second top G, so if you hit top G as well, so you can't use top G, doesn't really work. You can figure it out. I'm sure you have some sort of brain going on. Then it's $10, right? So if you're first to hit 5, you get 20. If you're second to hit, you get 10. If you're third, you get nothing, right? There's an old saying, I can't remember who it is. I can't remember now. So, number 1 gets a Cadillac, number 2 gets steak knives, number 3 gets fired and sent home. And that's it. Position number 1, position number 2, 3, you should be stressing. And realistically, number 1 is all that matters. So that is really, really weird. If you're not number 1, you're not winning. There's only one winner at the end of the day, and that is position number 1. Like Ricky Bobby says, if you aim first, you're last. And it's 100% true. So this bonus structure, it gets them to push each day to hit it on that end. Now, the way to really make this powerful is if Amy is top G today. So Amy is top G, yeah? She got it today. She got herself $10 on that side of it. Now, if Amy is top G tomorrow, then she gets a multiplier to her bonus. So instead of getting $20 this time, she gets $25. Yeah. So if you hold it for consecutive days, you get the higher tier. Now, again, this builds competition. 1, Amy is going to push like fuck because she wants to keep her top G status consecutively to have her $5 increase each time. And 2, adds competition into your morning meetings. Have a morning meeting. Say who is going to knock off Amy and who's going to become the new top G and knock her down and then take the realm and things on that place. Now, that is super powerful as it comes down to it. Now, one thing on that end of it, as we're looking at it, as we're going through, is just to bear in mind, I know some people are going to say, hey, monetary-wise, can I afford to do $20? Can I afford to do $25? Set a figure aside you can do. It doesn't have to be $20, $10. It can be $10, $5. Whatever it might be, it's just a bonus. It gamifies it. You need to gamify it. So put these things together, make a note. If you need a hand or anything like that, anyone wants any questions about how to book things in, how to hire staff, team, anything like that, let me know and I'll make a video on it. But that covers you up. That gets you sorted. Sort out your shitty sales teams and get making money for you.